try to follow that up. Just bear with me. Good evening. I want to begin with saying that being able to speak in front of a room full of dedicated individuals such as yourself is beyond an honor. There are no words to begin to describe how thankful I am to have started my journey to adulthood at Lindsey Wilson College, but I'm going to do my best. I want to introduce myself for those that may have never seen my face or heard my name. I'm Makenzie Montano, and I'm a junior here at Lindsey Wilson and a member of the volleyball team. The past 3 years have been nothing short of extraordinary for me. My journey begins with the fact that LWC was never in my options for college. Harsh, I'm aware. Actually, I signed my letter of intent to play volleyball at Queen's University of Charlotte in North Carolina and was beyond ready to move 8 hours away from the city that I grew up in. To say ending up at LWC was the second biggest shock in my life is an understatement. Now I want to prepare you guys for what may be a tearjerker to some or to all, so get your tissues ready. The biggest shock of my life began in the early morning hours of July 15th, 2014, and that's where my journey begins. I found myself rushing to Westport Place, an assisted living home in Louisville, at midnight, with my father and sister, who are right over here. My beautiful mother had just been battling stage 4 kidney cancer for under 2 years, and soon her fight was coming to an end. My mom grew her angel wings that morning, and she flew home to heaven. The chapter of my life that I knew for 18 years had just ended. My last 2 years of high school were filled with hospital visits, radiation treatments, hospital stays, doctor's appointment, you name it, I was there. As my sister was in college, that left me, a 16-year-old girl, in charge of balancing school, volleyball, and my mom's health. Luckily, I've been blessed with arguably one of the best fathers who stayed by my side through it all. My days and nights consisted of spending most of my time with my mom, and to say she is my best friend doesn't begin to describe the bond that we shared. Her only wish was to see me go off to college and watch me play collegiate volleyball, but that could never happen. One conversation that rings clear in my head is one of the last that I had with my mom. My aunt has suggested that we have the giving up talk. No one, no matter your age or your gender, wants to have that talk with a loved one, let alone your own parent. I was horrified when I realized that this talk may be the last time I spoke to her. As difficult as it was, I'm very grateful for that conversation. It went a little like this. Hey Mom, I know you're in pain, and I just want you to know that we will be okay when you decide to leave us. To her response, are you sure? I can stay a little longer, but not much. Makenzie, I just want to see you go off to college and play volleyball, because I know you're going to be amazing. And Morgan, I just want to see you graduate college and become successful. To which we said, Mom, you will have the best view from heaven, and nobody wants to take that away from you. There were lots of tears and I loves in that conversation, and I was right. That was the last conversation I had with my mom, because in less than 24 hours, she would be gone. I had 2 weeks to decide if I wanted to go 8 hours away or figure out another plan. So I grabbed my phone and called Andy Cavins, the head coach at Lindsey Wilson, and his response to my desperate plea of finding somewhere to go was, send your application and we will do whatever we can to help you. Little did I know that those words would hold true for the entire LWC community. My first glimpse of campus came on the very last Edge Day, July 26th, if I remember correctly. Hang on, I'm gonna blow my nose really quick. Sorry. My initial thought was, wow, I didn't expect such a nice campus in such a small town. I walked into this very dining center, sat right back there, And it was like everyone already knew my story and how much help I really needed. I cried that day, wishing my mom could spend it with me, but I know she had her fair share of help in setting everything up, as she always does. I will never forget how welcomed I felt, and I left knowing that Lindsay Wilson was the only place for me at that very moment. There are 3 specific individuals that have been there for me every step of the way in my collegiate journey, and they all happen to be in this room tonight. Laura Burwash, Vincent Sexton, and Andy Kavitz. Laura Burwash was my first advisor here at LWC. The first time I met Laura, she embraced me and we shared some tears as she had just recently lost her father. Like I said, it was like everyone already knew me and my story. I don't think I would have gotten through my freshman year without Laura. I spent countless hours in her office figuring out what I was going to do with my life, what classes I was going to take, and I may or may not have mentioned that I was probably dying in volleyball conditioning. In fact, last night I saw Laura for the first time in a few weeks at the L3 Leadership Banquet, and she met my boyfriend Brian for the first time and approved. So you're good. But after leaving the banquet, I received an email from Laura and that said, "You are the most genuine young lady and have impacted my life more than you will ever know. You touched my heart and life forever." Well, Laura, I'm here to tell you that you can't even imagine how much you've impacted my life. As you saw in my response, I said to her, "I'm beyond thankful to have your support and knowledge for a lifetime." The second individual is Vincent Sexton. Vincent is my current advisor, but is more like the knowledgeable uncle. My first experience with Vincent was in public speaking class freshman year. Since that class, Vincent has pushed me to be the best student I can be, and I credit my GPA to him in most cases. Whenever I wanted to take the less challenging class, he always, and I mean always, persuaded me to take the more challenging class, but I'm more than grateful for that. Vincent also sent me an email yesterday afternoon saying, "I'm so excited that you are speaking tomorrow night. Amy shared with me she arranged my reservation at your table. What an incredible privilege." Well, Vincent, it's my privilege. Laura and Vincent had no idea that they would be mentioned in this speech, and I believe that exemplifies the relationship that I have built with them. And last but certainly not least, comes Andy Kavitz, or as I know him, Coach. Coach and I don't have the typical player-coach relationship. He's definitely my second dad. He has taught me to be a fierce competitor on and off the court, and to always know my self-worth. There's not anything that Coach wouldn't do for me or my teammates. For example, I can text him and ask him for extra reps in setting, or for a ride to Campbellsville to pick up a rental car because you totaled yours. Sorry, Dad. Or to edit a paper because he was an English major, and he has and would do it in a heartbeat. When my mother passed away, Coach was off recruiting in a different state, and he called me to say that he was searching for the first flight home to make it to the visitation and to the funeral. I literally told him no, and to keep recruiting, and that I knew that he would be there if he could be. To my surprise, at my mom's visitation, Jess, Coach's wife, drove the hour and 45 minutes to Louisville to make sure that I knew that she and Coach would always be there for me. And they have never let me down, and I can't express my gratitude to both of them. Coach, Vincent, and Laura have made my journey at Lindsay much smoother than I ever thought imaginable. I'm lucky enough to have their support for a lifetime. It is the faculty and staff like them that makes LWC stand out amongst colleges across the country. Within the 3 years of being here, I've made some amazing memories. But maybe my favorite or a very special one that I hold really dear to my heart happened this past December. We had just won our quarterfinal match at the NAI National Volleyball Tournament, and we were heading to eat at our sponsor's restaurant. I found out on the bus that President Lucky and his wife Elise would be joining us, but upon arrival, I found myself across the table from these 2 amazing individuals. As we began discussing what we might eat, and how we felt the game went, I remember thinking to myself, how many other student athletes can say that the president of their college knows them by name? And I know I'm not the only one that he knows. As the meal went on, our conversation shifted to how I got to LWC, and a very similar story was told. I had to hold back tears to realize that the reason that I'm at this school is because this amazing man to my right, he has given me this opportunity. Now whenever I see President Lucky and Elise, I am welcomed with open arms and the best set of hug a girl can get. Sorry. I can honestly say that LWC was and continues to be a blessing in disguise for me. From being completely clueless about the college to turning into a student and to be asked to speak at Founders Day exemplifies the experience that I've had thus far. LWC holds a special place in my heart and always will. Each and every day, I try to give back in the classroom and on the court to the place that gave me opportunity. A place that saw me as a grieving teenager and not just another statistic. A place that I consider my second home with my second family. I want to say thank you to the friends of the college, like yourselves, for giving so many young individuals a chance to reach their dreams. Thank you for giving students the opportunity to experience a place with a strong-willed, determined, compassionate staff. A staff that will push you beyond measures and challenge you to be great in every aspect of life. I am confident that I'm more than ready to take the next step after graduation, but I can honestly tell you that I will never be ready to leave my second home. Thank you.